All right, guys, we got another one. So it's an article about the skills trade. They've been talking about this since last year. So ever since the whole college is a scam movement, they're trying to direct us into another hamster wheel. So here you go.
Leaders, meanwhile, warning AI could shake up the job market. Demand is surging for skilled trades like plumbers and electricians. Entrepreneur and CEO Daniel Priestley says blue collar work has been devalued.
Blue collar work has been devalued. And we've seen people who work with their hands and people who turn up to your house and fix your house in a devalued role. And it could be in the next, couple of years, these are the roles that are elevated the most, and that plumbers regularly earn more than lawyers, simply because the nature of the economy has changed.
So Mike Rowe is here, CEO of the Mike Rowe.
Yeah, he's right about that. I heard so many stories. Okay, you may have someone that come and cut your grass. How much do you pay them to cut your grass? Remember, cutting your front yard, your backyard, the edging, trimming. I know it's like, you're probably doing soil, planting like plants or whatever, flowers. That's different, but just to cut your grass, front and back, trim it, edge it, everything like that. How much you paying that guy to do that? So I know the guys typically say they charge $40 per yard, and of course you got to do a shit, do a shit, you got to do a shitload of yards in order for you to make a good profit. But um, plumbers, roofers. Matter of fact, the lady, what was it, up north somewhere, under Canada, um, she called ice on the roofers right when they was done with the roof. So it's a lot of these con artists, these criminals are screwing over these guys who's working honest work. So just keep that in mind. So the demand has always been there, just because the pay is trash. That's it. Micro, most of you guys ain't gonna know who he is. He had a TV show on Discovery, um, Dirty Jobs. That's great. I see now he has this non-profit organization. If you guys know, you know. I'm not knocking his hustle, but it's pretty typical. So, of course, I'm gonna say this right now before I start the video. He's gonna hype it up because he has a business, so that's in it. So all he's doing is it's just school. He's gonna teach you, the basics. The government gonna send him unlimited money, and they're gonna send you out there, and you're gonna find out the hard way. So
Works Foundation. Mike, good to see you. So why are we seeing this surge in demand for the skilled trades in the age of AI?
It's math mostly. 5 retire, 2 come in. That's how it's been in the skilled workforce for the last 12 years. We're aging out. There's a real demographic problem, both with just the graying of the workforce and a general population collapse. The other half are the stigmas and the stereotypes and the myths and the misperceptions that have conspired for a long, long time to keep a whole generation of kids from giving those exact jobs there an honest look. You put those two things together and then sprinkle the AI on top of it, and suddenly the crisis is existential. My foundation's been beating the drum for 18 years, but it really does feel like a memo has gone out to the C-suite. That guy is not alone. I just sat next to Larry Fink at BlackRock at an internet summit in DC. It was packed. Half the cabinet was there. And I'm telling you, if there was an alarm bell, they'd be ringing it. We got a $10 trillion infrastructure build on the Verizon, the horizon. We simply don't have the workforce to get it done right now. The grown-ups are paying attention.
It's a very popular thing on social media for moms to show them at home doing their laundry, cooking dinner, and saying, I've been told AI is going to take my job. Where are they? This is more.
calling it right now. All those news reporters. I mean, obviously the ones out in the field, right? But like people like her that's sitting at the desk, easily replaced with AI. So at some point, that's going to happen. Right now, in the way, I don't want to say the world, but I guess America, they're going to replace every job they possibly can, either with AI or a robot. So AI only can do so much. It can't do the physical stuff. That's when they're going to have the robots, which they already have. So this is really where it's at. So it had to be something very tedious or something very niche to where you have your job is protected. But as far as the most part, anything that's dealing with media, I mean, you already hear about this in Hollywood. Um, it's gonna be AI, man. It's gonna be AI. So
From Daniel Priestley on demand for blue collar versus white collar workers. Listen.
Lots of young people who should have been plumbers, electricians, and concreters and bricklayers went off and became got a master's degree in the mating habits of butterflies and, some random degree that doesn't have a job attached. And they ended up in $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 worth of debt to get this degree that no one was asking for.
So are people going to wake up to
everybody said, we're getting degrees that nobody's asking for. I'm gonna say this too. College wasn't. College was made because they didn't want the non-whites to join the workforce. So they made laws where they say, hey, you can't discriminate. You got to let non-whites also join the workforce. So, of course, those racist white people had to find out a plan. So, okay, well, since we can't stop them, let's hold them off. So they created college. And then by the time, they started going to college, hey, we'll hire you, but you got to have a degree. They just did that so they could stall them out. So they went to school, they came out, and guess what? They went back to the same job, wasn't hiring. So while they was out there going to college, they was hiring their own people. So by the time you came out of college, they was no longer hiring. So that was the whole thing about college. Now, granted, you got doctors, yeah, you go through years of training, which is highly necessary. But a lot of these jobs like skilled trade, you can learn that within so many months. Roofing, electrical, painting, flooring, a mechanic. That's you don't need to go no 4-6 year college. Not saying they have it, but you know what I mean. You don't have to go to college for that. You can literally learn that within months, the basics. And of course, like everything else, the more you do it, the better you get at it. So a lot of times people go to college, and I said this before in one of my old videos, you're going to college and you're supposed to be in that field of work also while you're going to college, because while you're going to college, you're also in that field of work and you're gaining experience. That's why they say, oh, do you have any experience? You're like, oh, no, I was in college. No, bro, like you're supposed to go to college and have a job. But a lot of these newer generation kids, they think they can just go to college and then life gonna be great. It's like, no, you have to be in a field. Obviously, you're not gonna be in a position that you want to be in. But well, that's why you're going to college. So when you get out, you have the opportunity to be in the position you want to be in. But while you're in college, you need to be in that specific area. So if you want to be a doctor, a dentist, you need to be I don't know what level is at the bottom level. You need to be working for some kind of dentist. So you're already in the field, you know how to paperwork, how to handle patients. And then by the time you get out of it, it's okay, I'm already working at for a dentist office. So instead of me being at the bottom, I want to be the one that's over payments or whatever. That's how it works. But a lot of these jobs, they just say, oh, go to college, and then it's going to be jobs waiting on you. Keep in mind, the average, 3-4 years? So within the 3-4 years, you're not gaining any experience. You're just in school. And then when you get out, they're going to ask you, oh, do you have any experience? Oh, no, I don't. Okay, so you wasted 3 or 4 years for most of these jobs you're trying to get. So
look at the rising demand for jobs like robotic technicians, up 107%. HVAC engineers up 67%. I hear about that all the time. Construction workers, huge demand as so many are renovating their homes in the age of not being able to get into a new one. Welders they need, electricians. Will people see this and say, all right, maybe that's for me?
Yeah. Look, the sad truth is sometimes things need to go splat before the country really starts to pay attention. But it's not like flipping a switch. People get the memo at different times. Gen Z is paying attention. They understand $1.7 trillion in student debt.
See, that's the thing too. He mentioned, was it Verizon Stadium or something? and he like 10 billion or whatever. Oh, we don't have enough people to, to finish the project, bro. It's 10 billion, but how much of that money is going to the actual workers? They still paying them crumbs. I'm gonna tell you this right now. If you watch, just look up, skilled trades, what up? Just look that up. Go in the comment section because all of the actual skilled trade workers are in the comment section and they're telling you what it is. You get out of the trade schools, and then they offering you 13, 14, $15 an hour. They're gonna work this shit out you. And then as far as you making, like you said, oh, I met guys who knows who's making 140, 150 in California. That's nothing, bro. That's nothing. What are you talking about? But of course, I told you guys before, he's gonna hype it up because he wants you to go into his program, his non-profited program. All right, if you know about the non-profit organization, but of course he's gonna hype it up. But yeah, 120, 150 in California, homie. Not in Colorado, not in Denmark, not in Nebraska. So they're gonna start y'all, and it sucks, but it's true. A lot of them guys saying, man, my brother, my sister's making way more than me, and they working at a fast food joint. They working at Starbucks. They working at Wendy's. So, and then you gotta understand too, like, nothing wrong with working, but do you want to work 60 plus hours a week? And then that's labor. Like, don't get me wrong, some days pretty chill, but when it gets busy, bro, it gets busy. You be out there for 14, 15 hours a day turning wrenches. You out there in the weather, bending over constantly, your knees. And nah, man, do your research before you even get into that. All you gotta do is go in the comment section because all the actual skilled labor workers are in the comment section and all of them and all the videos. So don't go in there thinking that, yeah, man, they're gonna start me off at $40 an hour. They tell you that, when you go to these schools, like, oh yeah, $40 an hour is the minimum. No, bro, because they're not gonna hire you. They just hyping you up so you can just go through their program. They already got their money. Then when you go out there in the workforce, you find out, yeah, man, we'll hire you $15 an hour. If they hire you, because a lot of them not even hiring. And if they do, yeah, we'll start you at $15 an hour. If you think I'm lying, go in the comment section. They're gonna tell you what it is.
That is held mostly by them. And they're looking at a guy like that making 130 grand a year with no debt, and they're doing the math. But it's
No, man. Again, he's the hustle man. He's just hyping it up. Like I said, he got his own little non-profit organization. So he gonna hype it up, bro. I guarantee you, you are not gonna. As soon as you get out of trade school, you're not gonna land a job paying you six figures out the gate. I promise you. If I'm lying, I'm dying, bro. Matter of fact, you see my cash app at the bottom. Send me $100 request if I'm lying, and I'll pay you. You ain't getting that. That's a fact. But again, he hyping it up. So
like turning a tanker around. It takes a long time to change perceptions. I'll tell you this. We've been doing this for 13 years, our work ethic scholarship program. We award scholarships specifically to men and women who want to learn trades like that. This year we got.
Of course you're gonna do that because you're gonna encourage other people to join your program. Again, I'm not knocking this hustle, but I want y'all going there green. It's all a hustle, bro. He not in the trades, bro. He had a TV show on Discovery, Dirty Jobs, and he seen, okay, I can make money off this non-profit organization like most white people do, just calling it what it is, and he taking the opportunity. He saw opportunity, he's taking advantage of it. That's all it is to it. But of course you're gonna give out, these grants or whatever. That's part of the program. That's part of a government program. They require you to do that. Anyway.
10 times the number of applicants that we did the year before. And we have literally at MicroWorks set aside $10 million to help train the next generation of skilled workers.
No, bro. That man said he got 10 million on the side. Oh, the government. All right, man. I already told you guys. It's government funded, man. You ain't coming out your pocket, homie. You ain't coming out your pocket. And you ain't got no 10 million put aside just to give. No, that's all a lie.
What I think you're going to see in the coming months is lots and lots of big companies funding organizations like my own and lots of others who are doing this important work. But it's going to be a groundswell. The entire thing, in my estimation, is going to flip. Also, what Priestley said just now, I said that exact thing 10 years ago and was basically patted on the head and dismissed as kind of an elitist. I'm not taking a victory lap. I've never been so sad about being so right, but the numbers don't lie. That guy right there holding that welding torch right now in certain parts of the country is making 130, 140 grand a year. Electricians.
Had to stretch a bit, man. I call it a Charlie horse of lies. Had to stretch it. Nah, man. If you know, you know. Like I said, just go into any comment section where they're talking about skilled trades, bro. I promise you. And again, if you're making six figures, you living somewhere super expensive, so you can get up to that, but it's not a as easy as you think it is. So
in Plano, Texas, are making 230, 240,000 working in data centers. I see them every day. I interview them all the time, and my foundation does what we can to train them.
It's an
another lie. If you make that kind of money, first of all, it's temporary because they're going once you get everything up and running, they're gonna get rid of your ass. Ask Google and Facebook and how they slaughter all those employees and replace their ass with the super. Like I said, it was all good while they was building the infrastructure, but once the infrastructure is complete, they get rid of you. So, you know, if you're making that kind of money, you're not doing skilled labor. I promise you. You're doing something like not even the IT. You're doing something to where you're building the AI. You know, you're on the computer, you're setting up programs, you're doing all that. But you're not gonna make that kind of money building a data center, slinging a hammer, pouring concrete. Now, unless you're the owner of that concrete company. But if you're just a worker, you're not gonna make no two. Nah, get out of here with that. Nah. Now you probably got some overtime you're taking advantage of, but it's only 24 hours in a day. So if you're making something like that, your company is automatically paying you what? How much would that have to be? I don't know, like over 65 or something. I think way more than that. Somebody do the math down below. But if you're gonna clear 200K building a data center, yeah, your company, unless you own the company, but you know, if you own a company, you ain't gonna you gonna make way more than that. But if you're an employee for a company, they gotta be paying you like, I don't even know, like $80-something an hour or whatever. Like I said, somebody break down the math down below. But you're not making that unless you actually setting up the AI. Like you doing the hardware. We're not talking about building no data center. You ain't making no two something. And if you is, good luck to you. But you know, once it get done, back to your regular pay.
incredible story, and you're a huge part of that story. You can give yourself kudos. You've been on this for a while, and you've got the Mike Works Foundation. You are inspiring so many to look at this as an opportunity for them, and that demand is there. I mean, if you stop and talk to somebody you see in the trades, I do it. How you doing? How do you?
She don't do that, bro. She don't do that. She just lying. She look down at the people at Starbucks who make her coffee. Well, her ice cream. I told you. Starbucks ain't making no more coffee, bro. That was over years ago. They making everything but coffee. She don't be talking to them workers. She don't talk to, if anything, she talk to her peers and hire. Really hire because she's trying to move up in the company. You know how females be. But other than that, like, somebody like her, she ain't going to shake your hand. She not going to say thank you, none of that, bro. She look down on everybody that's down on her level or higher. That's the truth. I go around talking to all the skills. You don't. You don't talk to the janitor at the damn building. Yeah, get out of here.
Like the job, they're seeing so much demand and so much work. They've got to turn down, you know, opportunities because there's just so much pent-up demand out there. Mike, you're the best. Thank you so much.
Hey.
Yeah, man. So if you guys watch the video, let me know down below. All my skilled trade workers, you ain't even got a comment because I know you're going to come with the facts. I didn't read all y'all comments. It's just a new hustle. So they don't care about the workforce because, as you can see, none of them are in the field. None of them shooting in the gym. None of them doing that. They just sitting at home or at their desk. That's all they do. So if you're going to respect somebody's thoughts or if you're concerned about what's going on make sure they're in the field. You listen to a reporter who don't even know what a hammer look like, but she over there trying to give people tips. And you got Mike Rowe, even though he had a TV show about it, he's not in the skilled trades, bro. Look what he's doing. So he has an organization that's going to train people to get into the skilled trades, but he's not going to tell you the truth, because if he tells you the truth, you're not going to go to his program. It's that simple. So if you want to know how, if anything, if you want to be a truck driver, a doctor, a lawyer, a brain surgeon, ask the people that's actually in the field. Don't be going off of what the reporters say or somebody who, yeah, I talk to the people in the industry all the time, but are you in the industry? I'm not going to ask a plumber how to change a motor. Now, granted, he may know how to change a motor, but you get what I'm saying, right? I'm not going to watch a video about how to change a motor from a doctor. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go look for a video of an actual mechanic that's teaching you how to, or showing you how to change a motor. It's that simple. So I know people get hyped up because you hear people that's just hyping stuff up, right? So they go, I'm gonna trust them. They're on TV, they telling the truth. No, it's all smoke and mirrors. So the whole college is a scam movement, they caught on to that. And okay, they're catching on to that. Where can we put them? Where can we put them now? Okay, well, we'll just go into the trades, and then we'll set up these programs and schools and blah blah blah, and we'll do that. Then when you guys get out, you thinking, oh yeah, man, guaranteed 6 figures as soon as I finish trade school, and then you get out there, I got $15 an hour for you, homie. You do the math on that. I don't care how much overtime you working, you're not touching 6 figures. And then remember, you got to pay taxes. So if you make 6 figures, I make 6 figures. After taxes, it's 85. Guess what? You don't make 6 figures. In order for you to truly make 6 figures, after taxes, your expenses, all stuff like that, if your bank account still says 6 figures, that's when you make 6 figures. You can't say I'll make 6 figures, but you clearing $100,001 a year before taxes. That's not how it works. So it's all smoke and mirrors. For the guys who don't know, this is the truth. I'm telling you the truth. And of course, go to any video where they talking about skilled trade work and go in the comment section. It's full of them guys. They telling you the ups and downs, everything. They're not going to sugarcoat it to you. So you're not going to go in there, slam dunking $50 an hour. They're not going to do that because a lot of jobs don't want to hire you. And on top of that, the ones who do, it's going to be the shittiest jobs, and they're going to pay you below minimum wage. As far as what you're supposed to be working, I think minimum wage, I know in LA is what, $20? The fast food workers got that, but they're gonna be trying to pay you 15, less than that. So it is what it is, man. But the jobs have always been there. It's just the pay. It doesn't make any sense. You're putting your life, you're putting your health at risk, all for crumbs. And of course, you have the owner or owners. They live in large and in charge. Now, some people are like, oh, yeah, it's the owner, it's the boss. Yeah, but it's a limit. If you're clearing $100 million a year, you take care of all your expenses, and you can easily pay your employees, 6 figures a year a piece, but you paying them $40,000, $35,000 a year. So what we talking about? So there's some people in there, oh, you just gotta be the owner. Homie, everybody ain't gonna be the owner, man. Everybody's not gonna be the owner. There's nothing wrong with fair pay. That's the part I don't understand about a lot of these people. They get upset because you're asking for fair pay. And if you do get fair pay, they end up shutting down the whole business. FedEx was in Chicago. Everybody did the union strike thing or whatever. And they said, you know what? Instead of treating y'all fairly, we're just going to shut down the whole location. This is what it is, man. It's a terrible situation. But anyway, if you enjoyed the video, if you didn't enjoy your video, let me know either way. Make sure you leave your comments and all that stuff down below. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and I'm just asking. Just putting it out there. You ain't got to contribute, but if you got a couple extra dollars on you, 50 cents, anything helps. I got my Cash App right there at the bottom, $ a man's advice. Any little bit helps. Anything helps. So, guys, thanks again. But remember to protect your peace, your pockets, and your purpose.